Hi guys, welcome back to this Money Control live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita Khemka.
And I am Yatin Mota.
Well, Yatin, expiry day volatility has dragged the Nifty to below that 19,700 mark. In fact, I think we've shaved off somewhere on 200 points on the Nifty from day's high. And even the Sensex, of course, ended, with steep cuts. But if you look at the mid and small cap indices, I think mid cap index ended in the green, but they have, kind of paired some of the gains that they saw during midday. And among the sectoral movers, of course, autos were the big drag, led by M&M, then banks and energy. These were among the top laggards. If you look at the, sectors that, really stood out in today's down move was pharma. That index was the top gainer, in fact, powered by the likes of Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, etc. Realty, PSU banks, these were some of the sectors that stood out, amid weakness. Look at the Nifty gainers. Cipla, of course, I think rallied somewhere around 10%. You have Divi's Labs, you have Sun Pharma, Apollo Hospitals. So a lot of these pharma names among the top Nifty gainers. Airtel, another one that was gaining. I think Airtel Africa numbers came out in the afternoon. After that, the stock was up. Nifty losers, M&M, of course, big laggard there. Tech Mahindra after a poor show in the first quarter. Tata Consumer, Britannia and Nestle after the volume growth disappointment was down. Yatin, let's talk about some of the mid caps that were in the news today. RVNL was one stock that was in, under pressure.
Yeah, under pressure, and the government of India announced an offer for sale because of which the shares had corrected. Now, obviously, if you look at the exchanges, 122.6 is where the higher end of the cutoff price has been fixed, and at the lower end, 121.6 is where probably there could be some bit of allotment that could be seen finally for the non-institutional investors. Obviously, because there was a OFS announced in RVNL, other railway stocks corrected in trade, including the likes of Ircon and RITES. If you look at the other stocks which were making momentum on Dalal Street, they were Godfrey Phillips stock was up 10%. REC, MMTC and Polymed were the other stocks which were doing well in trade. What was not doing well in trade apart from RVNL was KC International as well as Fine Organics. Both of these stocks saw correction of 4 to 5%. Today in general, because of the market fall of nearly 100-150 points, we saw mid caps which saw some bit of profit taking. But yes, today was the expiry day, Nandita, and probably there was some result reaction and expiry reactions for the trade.
Well, yeah, let's then take a look at some of the stocks that are on our radar. This was not a result reaction, but the result of a stake buy in a bank. Of course, I'm talking about M&M. That stock was down somewhere around 7% or thereabouts. Top laggard on the Nifty. Of course, yesterday it was the CNBC TV18 exclusive news break that the company has bought a 3.5% stake in RBL Bank, and then later in the evening yesterday, the management did confirm the stake buy. What's interesting is the fact that they had not disclosed this stake buy, and I think this is something that the street didn't like because in fact, if we know M&M has already exited all its non-core business, in fact businesses that couldn't deliver an 18% ROE. Those are the businesses that the company had exited already, and now the company has bought a stake in a bank which is a part of its non-core business. So that's something that the stock, of course, that the investors didn't like. Now the management has also said that they could, kind of look at raising their stake to somewhere around 9.9%, 9.99% or thereabouts. But of course, if they, choose to raise the stake above 5%, they will have to take the RBI approval for the same. These are some of the capital allocation concerns that are weighing down on the stock price. In fact, the stock, of course, along with the other auto stocks, has rallied quite a bit. It was up 15% on a YTD basis. But now the company, of course, reports its earnings next week. So we'll have to see whether or not the management gives some color on this issue or not. So till then, I guess this will remain an overhang on the stock. Yatin.
Clearly, and this is one stock which has seen some bit of profit taking in trade today. But what was doing well and extremely well in trade today were the stocks like Cipla and Dr. Reddy's. Now, both Cipla and Dr. Reddy's have seen some earnings upgrade coming in from the brokerages. Cipla, for the simple reason their numbers were much above the street expectations. If you look at Cipla as a stock, it has been doing well in the pharma pack. Very strong double-digit growth for the domestic markets as far as Cipla is concerned. US markets also saw some good growth. And moving forward, the company feels that 10 to 15 ANDA applications, which is the new drug applications, will drive the earnings. Apart from that, we have the company which also improved their overall margin guidance. Now, if you look at Cipla, the shares were up as much as 8% in trade today, and probably that chart will show you quite soon that how the Cipla shares moved. almost 10%, ending at the day's high despite the market volatility. So the pharma flavor is back in the market. Dr. Reddy's also, we had various brokerages upgrading the stock. This time, the first quarter, a blockbuster drug called Revlimid made a very strong contribution to the top line and bottom line. And moving ahead, according to the management, the pricing pressures in the US markets are evading. There are drug shortages, as well as markets like Russia and Europe provide some further upside to the overall business. So both Dr. Reddy's as well as Cipla were on a very strong footing. In fact, the entire pharma pack has been doing well. In fact, just now, Nandita, a few minutes back, Lupin also reported the resolution of the warning letter for two of its plants. So one is Goa, one is Pithampur. And I think this is one of the very big announcements that the company has made post-market hours. So let's see how the stock reacts tomorrow.
Right. We will, of course, pharma was the flavor of the day, and lots of experts that I have spoken to have said that now that money is rotating out of IT, a lot of it is finding its way to the pharma basket as well. So we'll have to see how the entire pharma rally plays out going forward. The next stock on my list is Colgate. Now, of course, this stock has hit a fresh 52-week high on the back of a strong first quarter performance. In fact, revenues have grown by 11% on a YOY basis. It has topped estimates. In fact, even profits have grown in excess of 30% on a YOY basis. If you look at the volume growth, very strong, 6 to 7% vis-a-vis expectations of 3 to 4%. Now, soft raw materials and the price hikes that the company had taken has aided the first quarter performance, but there are early signs of revival in the rural market, which has also aided the performance. And point to note is that of course it is the leader in the oral care market, but its toothpaste business had started losing market share, but it has started seeing recovery in this segment over the last 2 quarters, and this time around it has seen high high double digit growth in the toothpaste sales. So that is something that has aided the stock's the company's performance in the first quarter, and of course it's already reflecting on the stock hitting a fresh 52-week high. In fact, the stock is up over 30% on a YTD basis. But our analysts at Money Control Pro believe that one should be waiting it out for a couple of more quarters to see whether or not this kind of performance sustains or not. And if it does, then maybe it will be time to turn constructive on the stock going forward. But I think the fact that it is clawing back market share in its flagship toothpaste segment is something that is driving the quarterly show as well as gains on the stock price as well.
Clearly, and these are the few stocks we'll be focusing on. Obviously, the earnings season, has been quite good so far. Obviously, there have been some disappointments, but I think majorly there have been positive surprises, except for large cap IT. I think even mid cap IT is doing well in trade. So let's hope the trend continues. And in general, today the market was volatile, partly because of the expiry phenomenon as well. Let's see how August series pans out. And yes, we have seen some bit of improvement in the overall macros as well. So let's see in general how the rain really progresses, because the El Nino fears have been subsiding according to the IMD. Nandita.
Well, El Nino fears are subsiding, but here of course is a heavy rain in Mumbai, so we'll have to somehow quickly get out of the studio and get going. So with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Closing Bell. If you have any comments, send them in to us in the comment section below. But of course, I'll be back with the markets at 8:30 AM tomorrow, so don't forget to tune in. But from Yatin and me for now, thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Money Control.